Star Wars The Mandalorian is the best Star Wars show. There's no debate over it. It is. But if you disagree, shut up.
I have spoken.
Alright, joking aside, The Mandalorian is my favorite Star Wars TV show. I have so much to say about this show. I was gonna originally do a video after Season 2 ended, but I realized that I'm Technoblade and I must never upload under any circumstances, so my review starts now. Star Wars The Mandalorian, it proves that a Star Wars live-action show works. The best thing about it is that it does world building in Star Wars. As much as I love the sequel trilogy, didn't really do much world building outside of The Force Awakens. Here we learn a lot more about Mandalorian culture and how the Mandalorian creeds work, and what their relation to each other is. We also learn about the state of the Empire during this point in time, which leads into a good segue of how they will become the First Order. We also learn a lot about bounty hunting in this show, which I do really like as well. In a way, it's sort of like another creed, like another Mandalorian clan. We also get to see Apollo Creed in Star Wars, which I think is really cool.
Hey, let's make the baby do the magic hand thing. Come on, baby! Do the magic hand thing!
Another thing this show nails is the character work of the new original characters. Specifically, Grogu, Mandalorian, Greef Karga, and Moff Gideon, and others. Mando's arc is going from a cold-blooded killer to a father. Grogu is just plain adorable. Greef Karga is a morally gray character constantly switching sides, but in the end, switches to the right side. And Giancarlo Esposito always works as an intimidating villain. And what makes him work in this show is that we don't know too much about him yet, and we're still 2 seasons in, which makes him even more scary, if you ask me.
If you're asking if you can trust me, you cannot. Just as you betrayed our business arrangement, I would gladly break any promise and watch you die in my hand. The assurance I give is this: I will act in my own self-interest, which at this time involves your cooperation and benefit. I will give you until nightfall, and then I will have the E-Web cannon open fire.
Talking about other characters, Amy Sedaris' character is very funny in a subversion of many tropes in storytelling. When she first sees Grogu, instead of watching him for free and being kind, we get this funny line of her talking to Grogu saying, "I'm gonna charge him extra." And seeing Bill Burr as Mayfield is always great. Really, my only gripe with this show is that Season 2 kind of starts to feel like the cameo season. And I know I rage like a lunatic about fan service and always having original things in Star Wars, but I feel like in Season 2 of Mandalorian, they actually do it good, because they use it in a way that progresses the plot. And they also serve as backdoor pilots to the crap ton of Star Wars shows we are getting. But in terms of the cameos themselves, Cobb Vanth is an unexpected cameo that ties the shows to the Star Wars books in a way that I think really works. I do say nowadays that we are getting too much Ahsoka content, but I really liked her episode here, and plus it feels like a really cool Akira Kurosawa short film, so I'll let it slide. I like Bo-Katan's episode because it's also not just a cameo, she is constantly coming back in the show, and she might even be like the antagonist in Season 3. And she actually progresses the plot in this show. Boba Fett, I can't really defend this episode. I don't mind the Boba Fett episode itself, it's just that this one is so horribly directed. Like, this one episode is directed by Robert Rodriguez, and I do not think he is a good director at all. And this ain't the last Star Wars show he's directed. Yeah, he's done Book of Boba, and we're gonna see how awful he helmed that series. So, The Mandalorian, for all of its one fault, it cannot undo anything I like in this movie. The character work is so well done in this that the ending of Season 2, when Mando says goodbye to Grogu, I genuinely cried at the end. This show does so many things right that it's perfect to me. It is what I want out of Star Wars. And if you're a weirdo who has not watched this show yet, you don't really have to watch any other Star Wars to get this. Just sit down, shut up, and watch it. 10 out of 10.